2022.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. Any discussion or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Other item on the agenda is the interviews for alderperson of District 1. We'll be conducting the interviews. Rebecca has kindly sent all of us an email with some primers on HR practices so that we're not speaking out of line or asking things that we shouldn't be asking. We are not HR professionals. Our staff is, but we are not. So Rebecca will be reading the questions this evening. Our first interviewee is Kimberly Grove. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I think Rebecca, you can start anytime you
Sure.
desire.
I did step out, so did you go over the scoring sheet?
No.
There's
No,
a
I
s-
didn't.
Okay, there's a scoring sheet for each of the candidates, if you would be so kind to score the questions. And then obviously write the person's name on
Yeah, don't leave them blank.
that. Oh,
That's what we have now, we
Yes.
have blank.
yes,
And one is optimal, 2 is average, and 3 is.
right, it's golf scores.
Low score is good.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah, opposite of what,
Yeah, I just wanted to say
yeah.
that.
yeah,
Yep, thank you, Marty.
yes. So I'll
I
be
see it right
asking the
here.
questions. Don't feel obligated to look at me when you're answering. You can look at them. So thanks for your interest in the District 1 alderperson vacancy. We're gonna go through several questions and then, give the committee the opportunity if there is any follow-up.
Rebecca, maybe we should introduce everybody
Sure.
first. I think that's probably a good idea.
That's a good
I know
idea.
some faces, but not
Okay.
all.
Do you want me to start?
Sure.
I'm Rebecca Gruhl. I'm the city administrator and city clerk.
I'm Marty Weigel, one of the 2 second district aldermen, right here where we are.
First Aldermanic District, Vincent Vitale.
Hi, Dana Keen, Alderwoman, one of the Alderwomen of the 3rd District.
Tom Lysick, 4th District Alderman and Council President.
I'm Kevin Haas. I'm one of the 5th District Aldermen.
Hi, I'm Suzette Grisham, 3rd District Alderwoman.
Dan Roth, 4th District.
And Tracy Stefanski, 2nd District, other alderman.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ready now? Okay. Some of these questions were in the submittal that you sent in, but if you can provide the summary when we're for the interview. How do you view the role of an alderperson?
I view the role of alderperson as a go-between between their constituents and the rest of city government, trying to strike that balance between hearing out what the constituents need or want or what their concerns are, while taking into consideration what the city needs as a whole. Individual concerns always can't be addressed, so trying to kind of find that right balance and be a good representative for the people who live within your district.
Thank you. What characteristics, qualifications, experiences do you possess that make you the most viable candidate for this position?
I feel like that's a really long list. I do have a bachelor's degree in political science, constitutional law emphasis, which as a small business owner, I haven't gotten to use nearly as often. I have served on many different boards, both within my industry. I served on the executive board of the Wisconsin Upper Michigan Florist Association, the Teleflora President's Education Board. I have been involved in the city. I've worked as an election inspector for many different cycles. And I've got, of course, experience running my own team at my small business. So I have a lot of opportunity to find compromise and work with other people who have very different opinions and trying to move a group forward, particularly working with florists. They definitely have different opinions, different ways they want to go, creative minds. So being able to work with people who are very disparate from me and trying to find a way forward is a really great skill set I've been able to garner.
Thank you. Have you ever previously considered running for alderperson? If you have, why haven't you run?
I've considered it. In the past, I have worked with others on their campaigns. I've done stumping and things like that. In the consideration, my children were much younger at that point. With the length of an alderman's term, right now my youngest is a fifth grader. So it's realistic that in the last couple times that it would have maybe been of interest to me, I just didn't feel like I could strike that balance between my family, my business, and being able to serve the city. Now with my children being older, having a high schooler, I feel like and of course, many more years of running my business under my belt, I feel like I can, leave those aside to do the duties that would be required to be a participant in city government.
Thank you. The city is in a stage of redevelopment. What areas in District 1 do you believe have the greatest need? And do you feel the Common Council has correctly handled economic development in the city as a whole?
I think there's definitely been a lot of discussion about the development in our particular district. There was the attention to the Burnham Point area and the corridor that's close to National Avenue and things like that. So I know that there's been attention paid to that and a lot of discussion about that. There's obviously still work that needs to be done, a lot of vacant buildings, a lot of businesses that could use some assistance. And of course, that's the area of the city where we're finding a larger portion of the crime and things like that. So those are all concerns of constituents and of people who live in the area. We've had really wonderful development there. I think there's really great businesses, small businesses, restaurants, really strong neighborhood associations there. Both East Dallas and Liberty Heights are both very involved in the community. So I think there's a lot of potential there, but I think, there's a lot of growth, but still a lot of potential left. I think the city as a whole, I really like the way it's been going. That's the reason I decided to keep the business in West Dallas. It was originally a Wauwatosa company, but I live here, my kids go to school here, and I really like the direction that the city's going, the growth, the help that there is for small businesses, and we have really, really great services. So I think overall the city's direction is so positive that I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Thank you. You alluded to some of this previously, but do you understand the time commitment required for an alderperson, meetings, constituent interactions, general community involvement, etc.? And do you have the time and flexibility to accommodate the schedule?
That was definitely part of the consideration in deciding whether or not to approach the council as a potential replacement. I do feel that I do have the time. The evenings work very well for me as far as responding to constituents. That can be done all times of the day and night, and I'm sure it happens probably in the grocery store. But as I am the owner of the company, I can alter my schedule to certainly fit the needs of the committees, the council, and constituents. I've even done that to be able to be part of other things that are going on in the city, whether it's events, again, with doing the elections, or even being there for different ribbon cuttings and things like that. I've tried to find a way to be a support to other businesses and citizens where I could. Currently, I'm not serving on any of those other boards. I stepped away from the Liberty Heights Neighborhood Association, so I feel like my time has been freed up and could be dedicated to this.
Thank you. Do you have any conflicts of interest that we should be aware of?
I can't imagine so.
Is there anything in your background that may come up for which you'd like to provide an explanation?
Same thing, I can't imagine. I'm pretty much an open book. Anybody who meets me will learn plenty about me in a very, very short period of time. I'm an open book. There's nothing that exciting there.
Thank you. What is your opinion of the city budget and taxes, and do you have any ideas that you would share?
I think this is always one of those kind of push-pull kind of things. I think residents are always hoping for lower taxes, but we also want to be able to provide excellent services, and I think that's a really, really tough place for the council to be in and the government as a whole. I think for the city of its size, I think the taxes are probably at a very comparable rate to other communities of similar size. But I actually think we found a balance where our services are so much better. I'm always very impressed with our public works department, with our police and fire departments. I think that what we're able to provide within the taxes that we're collecting has been really excellent. Since I don't have experience in necessarily that part of it, I would be looking forward to learn, and then maybe would have more ideas as far as what we could do to expand and make that even better. But I think what West Dallas does with what we have is really, really excellent.
Thank you. How would you, as an alderperson, support the strategic plan goals, mission, and vision of the city?
I would see it as an alderperson's part to be very supportive of businesses who are interested in coming into our city, as well as specifically into my district, working with the state government for the grants and groups like Kiva to make sure that small businesses who are interested in locating or growing in West Dallas have that opportunity. Listening to them and listening to their neighbors to make sure that the growth and position of those business is beneficial for everybody in the community.
Thank you. Is there anything else you would like to share at this point?
Oh, goodness. I think not specifically. Like I said, I'm really excited about being a part of the West Dallas community. I really have enjoyed getting to know some of you and being a part of the events and the growth going on in West Dallas. And if there's any way that I can be a part of that to make us even better, that would be, a terrific opportunity.
Did you have any questions for council? And I don't know if they have any questions.
Think for a second. I guess if anybody, again, like I've served on other boards and I've worked with diverse groups, as I've mentioned. But if anybody has input on what they find the most challenging part and the most rewarding about being a member of the Common Council.
There you go, Kevin.
All don't have to answer that. I just think it would be really an opportunity to hear that.
So, I'm thinking for a little bit, so I'll start talking while I'm thinking. I enjoy being an alderman. I enjoy getting the opportunity to serve, and it's really valuable to me being able to serve the community. That sounds cheesy, I get that, but it's the truth.
Love cheese. It's okay.
Yeah. And so to answer your question directly about the challenges, I think that the biggest challenge is at budget time, which we've just gone through right now, crafting a budget where we're held back by levy limits, but the cost of everything goes up, and the cost of everything that we do goes up by more than what the levy limits allow us to accommodate. That's untenable. So how do you do that? How do you handle that? Thankfully, as a council, we have a good mayor and city administrator and department heads that we can rely on for their professional expertise, in particular on issues like that. So I can thankfully say there isn't an awful part of being an alderman. That's I haven't gotten calls at 2 a.m. or anything like that because of a barking dog. That's just those are my thoughts.
I have gotten calls at quite a few years. I have in the past gotten at 2, 3 in the morning.
I believe years
that's
ago it
where
used to be more the fact,
doesn't-
but today I think,
Yeah, it's
People-
mostly emails.
yeah, people got
Yeah.
more
People are much
relaxed
more
about
respectful
that.
today than they were a number of years ago. But I find it to be fun, challenging. I think it's very interesting to be involved in. You're on a board of directors of the city. You set the policy here. We set the policy. We determine where the city is going, what direction it's going, and that's the job of the council. The mayor's job is to fulfill what the council's policy is. and to carry out those goals and objectives. And so, I see it as a great challenge, and I like doing it. It's fun. It's nice seeing the growth in the city, especially on the east end, all the new developments that we've had over the years, from what it was when I first was elected, when Alice Chalmers was a big industry and pressed steel tank and the junkyards across from the market and all of those things, and it's all cleaned up now, and there's a lot to do yet, but we've made a lot of progress, and I'm just proud of the fact that we've been able to do that.
I think you should be.
I like,
I wanted,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I wanted to add something, being one of the newer alders, just recently elected in 2020. My biggest challenge to start off with was everything was so exciting, and I wanted to have my hand in every little pot. And it then became overwhelming. So really it was, for me, what was challenging is to sit down and focus on what, one, my district, not being an alder at large. And then two, the city initiatives that truly meant something, and try to process it out so it didn't become overwhelming with a full-time job and a life, a personal life and a this. So that was my biggest challenge, but the rewarding aspect, as all of them had stated, is beyond when you see that development that you've talked about for a year, and there it is, and, you get to patronize it, and you can see it from ground up, and citizens that are really in a tough spot, and you're able to help them out. Now, not everything can be done on an individual level, like you had previously stated, but those that you can help out, you can connect with a program that's offered in West Dallas that is truly beneficial to them, is what helps make it rewarding.
Thank you.
I think the thing that I like the best is getting out and meeting our constituents and talking to them. But the one frustrating thing is when you've got somebody that comes with a specific problem that they have, and due to regulations or whatever, you can't help them get around that problem. So you have to kind of come up with a solution. So that's the frustrating part, is trying to help them when you can't. But if you can come up with something, some other path or whatever for them, that always seems to be rewarding when that happens.
And they probably just feel good to be heard out too sometimes.
Yes.
And I'm gonna add to that, both Dana and I took office in 2020. And what I found most rewarding at that time was starting out like you did. You're a small business owner, involved in the community, have a love for the community, and decided to run. So if you get this position, I think you will see how much more rewarding it is to be part of that decision-making, to be the voice of the people. I own a barber shop, so of course everybody talks and talks all day anyhow, but kind of being that pulse within your community, especially in your district. One of the biggest challenges was being thrown from the frying pan into the fire during COVID. There wasn't, our city departments, Rebecca specifically, Mayor Devine, just trying to navigate everything and then still get our training and whatnot. So we've learned a lot. Within the first couple of years, we come in with our rose-colored glasses on and learned a lot in the process.
That was new for everybody. You guys were kind of all on equal footing dealing with that, but I appreciate the challenges you guys had to face with it.
Yeah, I could take a really, about an half an hour.
But we only got two minutes. We got 1 minute to the next interview.
That's what we do.
I mean, yeah, I like to have 5 minutes. What do you think, older person?
I think you love your job.
Yes.
And you're good at it.
I do, really, in all fairness, I came to West Dallas. I was not quite 18 years old, So, and I always lived in West Dallas. First, when I came here, I lived on 61st right off Lincoln with my uncle. So my life really grew within this community, really, from being a young man. So I was involved throughout the years in various organizations, I got to know many people, within the city of West Dallas, Knights Columbus, Lions Club, St. Rita's All Name Society, I did really join a lot of groups of good organizations, So my job always been as an alderman, to, first of all, to look up for the citizen, not just the district, but the entirety of West Dallas, not just the East End. I think our job is to overlook the entire community, If an issue comes up, try to work things together, between us as older persons. And the fact it is that I believe, like Alderman Lysak states, that the Alzheimer's crisis was pretty sad when it did occur, back in 1988. I think at that time, our city development director, John Stebo, which is retired now, so he's been part of the solution, during that time of Alzheimer's falling apart. So, and many other industries that we lost throughout the years. So I always try to be fair as an alderman, I mean, I could have been wrong many times, because that's part of the job. You can always be right, So I always felt that I try my best, but I can always screw something up, I mean, that's
You're doing good.
fact of life,
Always
So-
another day, yeah.
So at this point, I did what I had to say. So I'm proud to serve the citizens of West Dallas, for 34 years already. So I'm glad that I had the opportunities, back then. And that's why I always have respect. I have respect for the citizens. If somebody tried to tell me something I don't like, I tell them right off. I mean, that's what life is. You succeed more in the future to put up with some people that have no sense. If you have no sense, I don't like that, I mean, I just don't like people. They're fair and try to work together with us too here. I believe we have a hell of a good group of people, We disagree a lot of time, like I said before, I'm not the honest guy, I mean, I could be a little bugger, but like I said, that's all I have. Thank you.
Rebecca, can I just make a statement? One that I'm gonna say to all those today is, regardless of how this turns out, if you don't get it, I hope it wouldn't discourage you to see you in 2024, because that's when it's up to the citizens. That's who you're representing. So I just think that's important to know that, and I'm again gonna say this to all, so I don't want you to take it a certain way, that
Not at
I just
all.
hope it wouldn't discourage you for when the next cycle comes, to see your name out there.
Good example's me.
Yes, that's right.
I didn't get picked in 2000,
Right.
and I ran in 2019 and beat the guy who they picked.
There you go.
So,
I do have a question for that candidate.
Alderman White.
Background on the business. How many employees do you currently have? How long have you owned it?
So I took over ownership of the business in November of 2018. Yes, 15 months before a pandemic. I have 3 full-time employees and about 3 part-time, and then at holidays it really increases. We bring in a lot of drivers and contract designers and things like that for Valentine's Week and Mother's Day and things like that.
So it's not the retail florist business that it was. I grew up in Tosa, Lockers.
No, I mean,
Full
it's-
disclosure, my first girlfriend worked at Lockers. It was 1975.
there you go. It is the same company. It's been around since 1911.
But it's
yeah.
not at all what some people might remember it as. It's really
No, I mean, and you have to change with the times.
Yes.
I mean, any company that lasts more than a century has to make some changes. And that's certainly what I've tried to do. I'm sure that's even what the city's trying to do. You want to hold on to those roots and things that are the base and that makes it special, but still pivot to make sure that you're able to attract the best and brightest and things that are going to make the city vibrant. It's no different with the business. We want to keep the core of what we do, as far as customer service and things like that. But, designs change, tastes change, how you need to do business changes. We knew that before COVID, but that certainly solidified it.
Thank you.
Any comments or questions? Just to let you know, we are not making a decision tonight we may or may not make a recommendation to the council. This committee doesn't have the authority to make that decision. The full council has to make that decision. But we ultimately, this committee will make a recommendation to the council or not make a recommendation to the council, depending on
Which is really us.
whatever we decide tonight.
Understood, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. I think it was my second girlfriend.
Pretty much.
She still works
I
there.
was gonna say,
Always
Vinny
over
probably was
there.
recording it.
oh, yeah, I can't remember.
Marty, you
When
hear
was
what
the
Dan
last time you
said?
walked into a forest?
He goes, she still works there.
She's the night manager now.
1975, she's not alive anymore. She was an older woman.
haven't.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Lasted 2 weeks.
She had her driver's license.
What are you talking about? She's not alive anymore. I'm 74. What are you talking about? She's not alive anymore.
she had a library card.
I'm 74.
Hello, Mr. Pryor.
Hi.
I think we'll go around and introduce ourselves so that you know who's out here and
Okay.
who's asking you questions.
Okay, I'm Rebecca Grill, I'm the city administrator and city clerk.
I'm Marty Weigel, one of the 2 second district aldermen.
It's
Vince?
Vince Vitale, First District Alderman.
Dana Keen, Alderwoman of the 3rd District.
Tom Lysick, Alderman, 4th District, and Council President.
I'm Kevin Haas. I'm one of the 5th district alderpersons.
Suzette Grisham, Alderwoman, 3rd District.
Dan Rote, 4th District.
Tracy Stefanski, second district.
Thank you for letting me be here tonight. Appreciate it.
Want me to go ahead?
Welcome.
Thanks for your interest in the vacancy. I'm gonna be asking you the questions. Feel free to look at the council when you're
Okay.
answering, even though I'm asking the questions. Some of them are similar to what you submitted already, but if you could still provide an answer orally, that would be appreciated.
Okay.
How do you view the role of an alderperson?
Essentially, I'm the spokesperson or the representative for the people in the community. They can voice their concerns to me. And I can provide feedback to them, contact the people I need to contact, whatever their concerns are, maybe garbage, I don't know, name the issue. And then just get back to them in a timely manner. And just represent their interests, not mine.
Thank you. What characteristics, qualifications, experiences do you possess that make you the most viable candidate for the position?
I think my whole upbringing, my whole life actually, being born in the military, traveling the world up till like 6th, 7th grade, experiencing different cultures. Obviously, attending college was a big part of my life as well, but then my career after college, teaching in Chicago for 20 years plus, definitely had an impact on my view of the world. And the last 10 years as well, starting my own business, struggling at first with that, and now we're quite prosperous, very successful dart destination in southeast Wisconsin. So I think all those experiences combined have allowed me to just understand people from all backgrounds, where they're coming from, and just, communicate with them with compassion, while at the same time understanding that some of their concerns may or may not be able to be addressed, depending on the situation. But I think all those things, the last 40 years, the military experiences, teaching in a, quite frank, a very rough neighborhood in Chicago, and then just the last 10 years in West Dallas have all influenced my perspective on the world, actually.
Thank you. Have you ever previously considered running for alderperson?
I'll be quite honest, no, until I saw this on Be Honest Facebook, and I was like, I think it's something I'd be very good at, with my communication skills, written and verbal, adorable understanding social media now, and that as a means of communication as well, and my organization, my promptness of addressing people and the issues, and contacting the people I'll need to contact. I think all those factors played a factor in it. Plus, we really enjoy just the diversity and the vibrancy of District 1 and eastern side of West Dallas.
Thank you. The city is in a stage of redevelopment. What areas in District 1 do you believe have the greatest need? And do you feel the Common Council has correctly handled economic development in the city as a whole?
I would say as a whole, yes. I think the areas that are being developed are areas that need to be developed. They're generally vacant, older commercial areas that have been, since I've been here, have been vacant. They just built, I know, the hospital, or they're right there near where I live. Obviously, the large complex going up by OPA and the farmer's market. I think those are all areas, we've got dead, I call it, whatever you want to call it, dead land. I mean, it needs to be developed in some manner. Now, the dicey part becomes the development versus, what I think I said in my letter, the uniqueness of West Dallas's neighborhoods as well. So, but I think the areas I've seen developed are areas that need to be developed, and there are other areas also basically in the same general location that also need to be looked at.
Great, thank you. Do you understand the time commitment required for an alderperson, the meetings, constituent interactions, general community involvement, etc.? And do you have the time and flexibility to accommodate this schedule?
Definitely have the time and flexibility. As of right now, I do not know the magnitude of it, to be quite honest with you. I'm sure it's going to be more than I expect, but I have the flexibility in my schedule to make things work. There's always time. I can always squeeze out the minutes and the hours I need to attend those things I need to attend to. My wife and I both own the business, so that is an advantage, definitely an advantage.
Do you have any conflicts of interest that we should be aware of?
None that I'm aware of.
Anything in your background that may come up that that you'd like to provide an explanation for?
Nope. None that I'm aware of.
What is your opinion of the city budget and taxes? And do you have any ideas to share regarding those?
I'll be quite honest, I'm not really familiar with the budget or the taxes. I know the taxes are, people complain about them. To me, I think the services the city provides are very solid. I've never had one issue with snow removal, police response. The services I've dealt with have all been superior, to be quite honest with you. And that ties into economic development as well, though. That does increase the tax revenue, obviously, which hopefully in the long run would keep taxes down for keeping where they're at for a period of time, I would hope. But again, I'm gonna be quite honest, I don't know what the city budget is. I do know what the taxes are, because we do pay those, obviously. I don't know what's allocated to what. I am not familiar with any of those things right now. I'd like to comment on that. Intelligently, anyways.
Thank you. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah.
How would you, as an alderperson, support the strategic plan goals, mission, and vision of the city?
Again, I can see the vision of the city. You can see it getting built up right now as we speak. I just think West Dallas as a whole is a very unique community, diverse. There's a lot to offer. And everything as alderperson, I would just promote that quality of it. And I think it needs to further be developed. At the same time, I think I hear the concerns of some of the citizens via social media about, it being the rent's too high, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a fine line that needs to be addressed with that as well.
Thank you. Is there anything else you would like to share with the council?
No, I just look forward to hopefully being an alderperson and working with the city and keeping the vision going, because I like what I see so far. What's going on in this part of West Dallas. I'm not familiar with other sections of West Dallas as much. I mean, I do go there, and, you know, as you know, West Dallas becomes a little different as you move west, but, that's pretty much all I have to offer right now, but I do not have any questions. If I do get the position, if I'm lucky enough, I'm sure I'll have plenty of questions.
Thank you.
Any member,
Tom.
council have questions?
I have a question for you, and thank you for coming tonight.
No, thank you.
What volunteer work have you done outside of your business? Have you served on any boards, community events, things like that?
No, not really volunteer work. We, tied into our business, we do fundraisers for a couple of organizations. I've done volunteer work in the past, prior to moving here in Chicago. Our main focus are, as far as, what you just asked, would be the fundraisers we put a lot of time into. We pride ourselves on helping the two organizations we help.
Have you served on any boards in official capacity?
Any boards I sat on would be school related,
Okay,
but at a school level, not at the city level.
okay. All right, thank you.
If I may, Rebecca, can I
Well, you
ask?
can ask.
Oh, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry about that. It comes with age, you know. But anyway, my question it is, during the year, like I said, sometimes we have contracts with the police department, fire department, within our structures. So when you come to a contract, how would you digest the decision making, you know, to determine your thoughts and, you know, for the police, the fire, and everybody else? So what would be your determination?
We'll have to see. I'd have to see what was being asked, what the issue was essentially. You're looking at salary, benefits, vacation time. I don't know exactly what the issue would be. We'll have to see what we have and the city has in their budget and what they're asking for in return. But I would say this, as far as police and firemen go, I think, and teachers as well, or anybody who works in those industries or that field, you can't really underestimate what they provide to the city. I mean, I've never had one negative interaction with the police. Not that I've had a lot of them, but the few that I do have, in my business I do have them, never had one negative one. I know we've hired quite a few police officers. I know there's a lot of young gentlemen running around in the police uniform lately.
They get younger and younger, don't they?
Yeah, well, I'm getting
Yeah.
older
As I
and
get older,
I'm
they
getting
get
older and
younger.
older.
Yeah.
I mean, I will respect that 100%, you know, but my question is, so when it comes to determine, once you say you'll be chosen to represent the first district in West Dallas, when it comes to finalize a decision, because say, you know, say a fireman, you know, the police chief or the fire chief, would you focusing yourself within that budget for the interest, of course, with the police department, fire, and everybody else, and the citizens of West Dallas? Would you weigh all those facts before you vote on it?
Most certainly. I'm looking for, my goal as alderperson is representing the people of my district. And that's my first priority. So I'd always take their concerns or their voice will always be a major part of my decision-making process, always.
Very good, thanks.
And Mr. Chair.
Alderman Haas.
Yes, so we want to make West Dallas a destination. We want to make West Dallas a place where people want to come to, want to relocate to. And you have a story like that. You relocated from Chicago to West Dallas. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, essentially, my wife's daughter lived here, and I was ready to get out of the education field for not children reasons, more just the politics of schooling in Chicago at that time. And so we chose to look around this area. We found basically the establishment we have now. And the previous owner had a little bit of darts going. And this sounds strange, but he had a few dart teams going, and we kind of built on that. And now we have a weekly event, which last week drew 60 people. I'd say 30 from not West Dallas were there. Many from Kenosha, southern Wisconsin come up for that. Northern Illinois. And over the years, this has become one of the larger Saturday night dart events in this area. To be quite honest with you, as silly as that might sound, but we average 40 to 60 every Saturday night. So a lot of people spend the night. Obviously, they'll go eat somewhere before they come to our place. Things of that nature. But I mean, we consider ourselves a destination location for sure, especially on a Saturday night.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments?
Quick
I'll just-
question.
Oh, go ahead.
10 years in business here,
Correct.
and you bought the building, if I remember?
Correct. And the house next door. So
And how many employees?
approximately varies 5 to 7.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'll just give the statement that I'm giving to everyone.
Okay.
That regardless of the decision tonight, I hope whether you get it, you don't get it, that we see your name in 2024. Ultimately, the decision is gonna be then up to the citizens, as it should be.
Yes.
This is an appointment.
Yes.
So again, regardless of how this goes, if you don't get it, I hope it doesn't disappoint you to the fact where you wouldn't consider running, or if you do get it, again, rerunning in 2024, because we'd like to see your name on
I
there.
feel like this is an honor, so I look forward to hopefully getting this position. And I've loved every minute in West Dallas. I look forward to the next 10 or 15 years I'll be walking around this planet in West Dallas.
This is a committee of the whole, and we do not make a decision. We will make a recommendation to the common council ultimately, which consists of all of us.
Yeah.
But that's the formal body that has to make the final decision. So we will make a recommendation, for something for the next council meeting, whether
Okay.
it's to, appoint one of the applicants, or not appoint an applicant, or appoint somebody totally different.
Okay.
So, but staff will be in touch with you, and we will let you know what the outcome is.
But thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
You guys
you.
are doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was bottoms up. I used to shoot against that dart league.
I remember it was bottoms up. I lived 2 blocks away. Yeah.
My nephew shoots.
It was bottoms up when we opened up in 1980,
Yeah.
so they were there a long, bottoms up was there a long time.
Yeah.
Hello.
Do I have to wear this?
No.
Just sitting there.
I think we'll start off by everyone introducing themselves, so you know who everyone is.
Okay. Rebecca Grill, I'm the city administrator and city clerk.
Marty Weigel, I saw on the library board a couple
Right.
times. Second district alderman.
That's okay, Ray. It's me.
I know you.
Dana Keene, Alderwoman of the 3rd District.
Meet you.
Tom Lysick, 4th District Alderman and Council President.
Thank you.
I'm Kevin Haas, 5th District.
I'm Suzette Grisham, 3rd District Alderman.
Dan Road, 4th District.
And Tracy Stefanski, other second district alderman.
Nice to meet you all.
Meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for being here tonight. I'm going to be asking the questions for the
Okay.
committee. Feel free to look at them when you're answering. You don't have to look at me just because I'm asking you the questions. Some of them are similar to what you submitted already, but for the purpose of the oral interview, please provide the answers, the appropriate answers. How do you view the role of an elder person?
Well, I view it as a person who represents the people in your particular area, district. Talks to those people, let them know, let the other, when you do any kind of anything administrative, that you do something that based upon what they say. Not necessarily have to do what they say, but at least someone should know how the people in the neighborhood feels about it.
Thank you. What characteristics, qualifications, experiences do you possess that make you the most viable candidate for this position?
Okay, for over 40 years, I've been pretty much in retail. but not just retail, usually an operational function. Also trainer of the stores, store manager, district managers. And the other nice thing about it, I got the chance to travel and go to other stores and help open those stores, hire new people. And because of that, you know, it's good to be able, I dealt with different types of personalities, different type of people, so that, and I think that's something that we have in our city. You have to be able to deal with those people and learn what to do, what they need, and their needs, and what they can give to you, or what information they can give to you.
Thank you. Have you ever previously considered running for alderperson? And if you have, why haven't you run?
I did at one time, but unfortunately, when I was working, and it's kind of sad, my wife still doesn't like it, is I would work probably 70 hours a week. And the only thing I did when I went home is I just laid in bed or went and watched television. It was just, and if I did something as an alderman, as you guys know, you have to, that time, you have to give time to that. And if I couldn't give time to that, it wouldn't be right for you or for me.
Thank you. The city is in a stage of redevelopment. What areas in District 1 do you believe have the greatest need? And do you feel the Common Council has correctly handled economic development in the city as a whole?
I'm pretty happy with it. I've noticed so many different companies opening up. I went to the ice cream shop, Station 6. I was able to go and check out some of the new buildings and the new apartments that we have going on, condos we have. I like that. I think that's the best way to keep people in the area instead of moving away, because not everyone can afford to buy a home right now. And it's kind of nice to have a place that you can go and with your friends, and you know, Station 6, I love that. You have your dogs with you and everything else. It's great. I think things are going pretty well with that. I really do.
Okay, thank you. You alluded to this a little bit before, but do you understand the time commitment required for an alderperson, the meetings, the constituent interactions, general community involvement, etc.? And do you have the time and flexibility to accommodate this schedule?
I believe so. Right now, I help out in the summertime. I work with the rec department. I was going to bring it with me. We actually wrote a book. Some of the kids and I did a book, because what I used to do was read to them, and then someone said, I would like to write a book. So we decided to write a book with pictures that they made, they created. So I have time now. I didn't have time before. I also I'm on the library board and vice president of the library board. I work with the Liberty Heights area. I do that with my wife. I don't hold a position because it's not fair for us both to kind of gang up on everybody else. But I do work with that. I worked before COVID. I was helping out with what school is that? With one of the schools, working with the kids. And I also went to the middle school over there, and I was working with those kids as well. I have the time now. I'm retired, but I hate to say it, my guys, when you get retired, you're gonna find out you get bored quick. And I like to keep busy.
Thank you. Can't wait to be bored.
Surprise. My wife kicks me out all the time. It's great.
Go do something.
Yeah, go do something.
She used to be my neighbor, Ray, so I know.
Well, you know her and her father, yeah.
That's right.
Do you have any conflicts of interest that we should be aware of?
No, I don't. Like I said, I'm on the library board, and I work with the rec department. I don't think that would be a problem at all.
Okay. And then is there anything in your background that would come up that you would want to provide an explanation for?
I had a pretty boring life, if you want to shoot, you know. I haven't been arrested. I have never done anything that got me in real trouble other than speeding a couple times. But I don't own stock in any company that might be a problem. So other than that, that's about it.
Okay. So boring life, boring
Boring life,
retirement.
boring life.
Okay.
No, I don't even drink, so that's the problem too. They have like a free, not free, but they have as much Coke as you want when you go to Safe Six.
Okay. What is your opinion of the city budget and taxes? And did you have any ideas about those that you would share?
I know you have to keep with the budget. I know you have to, and I'm used to dealing with budgets, you know, in my store. The store managers of the store and the district managers of the store have to stay in their budget. And I've done some things to make that happen, creative things to make it happen, so that we could stay within the budget, especially the payroll. It's a tough thing to do because you see people you have to let them go, or the good people you have to let go. Things that you would love to do and you can't do it, but unfortunately, it's part of what we have. Otherwise, if you don't do it, everyone's going to suffer later on.
Thank you. How would you, as an alderperson, support the strategic plan, goals, mission, and vision of the city?
Well, it's kind of nice. I was just looking through those again. And believe it or not, some of the things that I had commented on when I sent that form out was based upon what you guys were thinking, what you're doing. Believe it or not, I didn't know. It's pretty easy to, if you think about it. If you give time to it, if you talk to other people, you get everyone involved. That's why you have a council. You don't have one person dealing with everything. And you can get ideas and bounce it around with everyone and make sure that these things can happen. I love the thing that you were looking at diversity. You were looking at building business, creating, those are some of the things that I was talking about. I was looking at things like in the park system that I think we need to really work on, like Liberty Heights. There's a lot of challenges there. And that's one of the reasons I put down that that's one of the things I really wanted to work on. So, yeah.
Thank you. Is there anything else that you would want to share with the committee tonight?
Well, one of the things I was looking at is, I think my coming on board would be easy to solve a lot of problems. One, I'm already on the library board, and the person who left was the representative for the library board, so I could easily slip into that position right away. I'm used to the people, work with the people. I already have ideas and things I want to do, and I know a lot of the people in the neighborhood. I'm very well known because I do a lot of walking around the neighborhood, walking through the park. So I'm familiar with those people as well as the West Allis Police Department, because we talked a lot about things that we need to do in terms of getting some people feel more protected, feel safer when they go to our park.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions, Mr. Turner? Or comments? Dana?
I have a comment, if there's no questions.
Roll right in there.
DJ, repeat that record. I have said this to each candidate, and regardless of how this goes, whether you don't get it, you get it, we hope to see your name actually running in 2024.
Okay.
As again, you know, it's the citizens that vote, it's the citizens that you represent. So if you don't get it, we hope that this doesn't discourage you. If you do get it, we hope that you would rerun, to let the citizens then take the time to choose their two elected officials, so,
Well, thank you. I already planned to do that, in fact.
wonderful.
Alderman Lysick?
Oh,
I'm just, I have a comment. I liked your comments on Liberty Heights Parks that you did in your bio.
Oh, thank you.
I really liked them a lot. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, Liberty Heights could be a great soccer field, if you think about it, because I don't know where the other soccer fields are, but I know they're not around here. And there's so many people play that now.
They're in Qatar right now.
They won today, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great game. 1-0. But anyway.
1-0, they say in soccer.
1-0.
1-0.
Aren't they playing football over there?
And I don't know how people felt when I said about the basketball court,
Was what, right there.
but I think that would really solve a problem, because the kids, you need adults to play with their kids. I used to go over there and play with my kid, and now you have that full court thing going, and I bet you can do a lot with that space if you needed to. But anyway,
Thank
sorry.
you.
It's one of those things I have a feeling about all the time.
but Ray, I mean,
My wife, yeah, and you heard me too, right?
yes.
Oh, I told
President?
you.
That covers my question. What would be the first thing you would do
That
if
would
you
be
got
it.
this position?
That would be it.
Alderman Lysak.
Alderman Vitale.
Yeah, base, I mean, knowing Ray, you know, I always respect that family. It's really been very, I mean, like I say, he's been connected with so many, you know, some of the jobs, I think that they're very valuable, you know, so he's more on budget, you know, I believe he has raised that quality, you know, really, in all fairness. That's my opinion.
Any comments or questions for Mr. Turner? If not, just to let you know what the process is, this is the committee of the whole. We only make a recommendation to the common council, even though we are the same body.
Right.
That'll be next Tuesday, whether we make a recommendation for one of the interviewees this evening, none of the interviewees this evening, or whatever we're gonna do, we'll make a recommendation somehow to the council for Tuesday night.
Okay. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
No, hand your test papers to the person to your left
Well-
for scoring.
Mr. Chair. It's up to you whether you want me to do the scoring or if someone wants to just, if we want to do hand votes or whatever you want to do. I'm willing to
You're not
do
gonna grade my
math
paper?
or if you just want
guys want,
to
yeah, you
get
can-
consensus, whatever.
I'm fine with.
Do you want me
I
to
have
do
a
the
number
math?
1, a number 2, and a number 3.
I do
I do
too.
too.
Yeah, that's what I did
Based on my
too, so-
scoring, I have it. So do we wanna go?
Do you just want to do the ones? Yeah.
Marty, you want
Yeah,
me
do
to
we wanna
start?
go in
or-
closed session for this?
You're
Well, we're not
not able
posted
to.
for closed session, I don't.
Oh, we're
And
not.
you're not able to go.
If we have to, I think I read, if we have to, we could do it.
I believe we can.
No, he
That's
said
not
we
what
couldn't.
Kale said.
No.
Bill said no.
No, okay, okay, but that's what I read, you know?
Where?
We read the same email, Vince.
We got the same email.
Did you have your glasses on, Vince? Very important.
And importantly, also, that's how we did it the last time.
That's
too.
really make me feel old, you know?
You know, looking at my math, I have, two people tied for first, and they're clearly above the other, so. But that's just looking at my math. When I think about who I'd prefer, I would prefer, if, this is what we're saying, right? Okay. I guess I would prefer to go with Miss Grobe.
Okay.
But it's almost a toss-up with Mr. Turner. So,
Rebecca, you're gonna calculate this? Okay.
how you good?
Are we just given who our number one is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Vince, who's your number one?
Yeah, then again, based on the years really that I know Ray, I mean, I feel it's a level person, you know, very family oriented man, you know, and that's why I feel, I mean, I think he'd be a good candidate to be appointed for the first Aldermanic district.
Dana,
My number one was, Mr. Turner also.
I had a 1 and 2. Number 3 is, I don't think. Number
One and
1
two.
was Ray. So Ray Turner.
And my number one was Ray Turner also. Yeah, his involvement in the community is strongest to this point, and has a great background as a manager. And they all have backgrounds as managers, but
Really
still.
seemed like he's able to communicate too.
And I had a tie for that, but my pick would be Ray Turner.
I had Ray Turner.
So do I.
Okay,
There we go. It's,
so 7-1.
Well, you had him tied
I had them tied.
and the
Yeah,
other thing
I
I
was
want
a
to say
tie.
too, which is the truth, is we have three really good candidates, and no matter where we go, we aren't making a mistake. That's a
agree.
good problem to have.
Exactly.
I was just surprised we didn't interview everybody, since when I ran, or when I tried, we interviewed 9 people. And so I was kind of concerned that we didn't give everybody a fair shot.
That's because I needed
Well-
more help. Vince is standing, and Vince doesn't need as much help.
No,
Well, actually, what we did when you were interviewed, Tracy, was probably not the correct way to do it, because we hadn't been doing it in the past like that. Typically, staff had always, HR department, it always, as they do with any position that we have, any department head or anything, whittle down the number of people, the applicants, to the ones that they thought were the most qualified. In this case, we did it. You know, we all got the papers
And
and
these are my
forwarded and
favorite
sent them
pens.
into
I have a
Rebecca.
thing. I get a little
And,
pissy if I
You
don't
know,
have the
the
right.
top 3 were picked. If none of the interviews would've went well, you know, then we could've called in more people, different people, re-advertised, or, you know, just pick somebody out of the blue. We got other options. But I think, at least in my opinion, it worked out because we had, I think, at least 2 really good candidates.
Absolutely.
in all
Yeah,
fairness.
I enjoyed all 3, yeah.
And I had a difficult time making that decision, and the decision for me was that Ray is retired. He has more time at this time. And I know, even as a small business owner, that takes a lot of your time up. So I think that balance would be better for
You know,
Ray.
there were certain, I mean, I'm sorry they use the term element, one element. I mean, was disgraceful, really. So I'm glad he was not chosen to appear in front of us, really. I mean, it was disgusting, you know? I mean, it's just, we don't
What
need.
is,
What are we talking about?
what's,
Nothing to do with any of these three
No.
people.
No, not
oh,
at all.
well, then there's no point to
Just we're
talk
talking
about
Then
it.
let's not.
We're talking about where we are,
Yeah.
not what
Yeah,
might have
not-
happened.
yeah.
out there.
Yeah, yeah, we don't care about,
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I'm
we
just
didn't
wanna
do- we
say,
didn't pick
the selection was great, you know, I mean, really, for 3 people. What I'm talking about, one, the applicant was disturbing, you know, I mean, totally offensive to the city, you know, and I got disappointed about it, you know?
really? I didn't read that about any one of
didn't
them.
either, but I-
It's pointless,
Well,
but,
Yeah.
I had candidates that I didn't feel were qualified and didn't answer the question.
But the mayor knows about it, Rebecca knows about it. You know, the fact that is, you can have somebody like that in the council, really, I said,
yeah, but
hope,
we
I
didn't
mean,
interview him,
Yeah,
so.
we didn't interview
Yeah.
them, so.
yeah, I'm glad it was
Alright.
not chosen, you know.
I'm happy with who was presented, and thank you
We have
all.
we have a clear winner, it's not
Yes.
like it's, you know,
Do we-
4 to
do we need-
5.
Do we make a recommendation, a
You
motion?
can just direct me to put a resolution together for the
Please do that
consideration at the
for
council
Tuesday's
meeting. It'll be on the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
What day will it be?
The 13th.
I think I screwed up.
I actually just updated my,
Oh,
And there's,
I looked at the calendar and I was like, 6, oh, 13, okay.
and again, there's one meeting this month.
So we're
like
the
it
13th,
says
not
on
the
the
6th.
calendar
Okay.
right there,
I'll
correct?
rearrange my
Yes.
schedule again.
Okay, thank you.
You need a haircut.
You're gonna print us new calendars?
Me?
We have them
For last
You know
month.
that they have this calendar out for the whole year, right?
Got an opening on Friday,
Don't you be sassy.
Like that was given to us
suck
last
cover.
year, December.
Right? I called Rebecca asking her how to do that once.
I can shred these.
Committee,
I move we adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are
I
adjourned.
forgot that we were.
Rebecca, are you collecting
Alderman
these?
Lysick?
Yeah, I can shred these.
I told that guy.